Hey, this is Paul. Hope everybody's doing well, and thank you for watching Mountain Man Chronicles. Today's episode's going to be on tires. Before I went and did the Rimrocker trip, which you can look up here, which was my last trip where we were driving a lot of shelf road, I wanted to make sure I had some stability on the ground. I knew I was going to hit some weather and possibly some tough terrain. So right before the trip, I had made a decision to buy some new tires. My old Toyo mud terrains had served their purpose, and it was time to start looking. So today's video is going to be how I narrowed down my 3 choices of tires. Remember, I like to look at things in threes, how I made some decisions.
Welcome to the Mountain Man Chronicles, where the spirit of adventure comes alive. I'm thrilled to have you join our journey into the great outdoors. I'm Paul Piazza. I'm your guide through the wilderness and the storyteller behind the Mountain Man Chronicles. I hope you share in our love and appreciation of what this great world has to offer. Here we live in 3 simple principles: live, learn, and explore. Live, immerse yourself in the thrill of the moment, whether it be overlanding, exploring unique ghost towns, or simply enjoying the serenity of nature. We believe in living life to its fullest. Learn, cultivate that childlike curiosity. Every adventure is an opportunity to learn and discover something new. From overlanding trips to mastering trail navigation, we're a constant journey of learning and growing. Explore. Be comfortable with the uncomfortable. Venture into the unknown. Our chronicles are a testament to the places we've been and the stories waiting to be untold. Join us as we explore the hidden trails, the pristine lakes, and the mysterious places this great nation has to offer. And of course, what adventure would be successful without proper planning and the right gear? We'll be showcasing some of the tools of the trade along our journeys. I truly hope you enjoy our chronicles and the journey that my wife and I travel through during our overlanding adventures. Thanks for watching.
First decision I had to make was, did I want to go with an all-terrain or did I want to go with a mud terrain? There's benefits and drawbacks to each. Gladiator to begin with was a mud terrain. They were Toyos. Actually pretty good tires. They wore pretty well. Got about 50,000 out of them. They tended to get really loud. On the white Jeep here, these have about 8,000 on them in their BFG mud terrains, and they've done well. The advantage of having a mud terrain, again, is you have, as you can see here, wider blocks, more voids, tends to grip more in mud, dirt, snow. You might lose some side traction. I noticed that on these. If I get these mud terrains in the snow, it tends to want to pitch out a little bit. They're a little squirrely, which is kind of fun, especially if you have a locker in the rear like the white Jeep. So that was the first choice. Mud terrains or all terrains. One of the other pure just things about mud terrains is the cool factor, right? They just look really cool on a rig versus like an all-terrain, which has a little more of a street look to it, or at least used to. That might be a hint for the future. So on this rig, a long time ago, decided to go with it. Like I said, not many miles on these tires. Been wearing really well. Still a little louder, but have performed really well on several off-road trails. Some of the things to consider, for example, on these mud tires that have a little more wear, something you got to think about with mud tires is they wear faster, obviously, with these. These are 37s on my wife's rig. We'll go to 35s in the future. It's just a personal preference thing. They also wear louder. They get louder as they wear. Tend to be harder to balance. Tend to do better in snow, deep mud, because of the voids allows you to grab and have better traction. So, that's definitely a benefit. The other things you have to consider is fatigue while you're driving. There is more fatigue when you run with a mud terrain than there are with an all-terrain. But the trade-offs are, once you get to the trail, you will suffer some, in most cases, with an all-terrain tire. So when I put together my list of 3 things, what I looked at is, 1, my Toyos were loud, so it was really fatiguing, especially driving in a Jeep, and Jeeps aren't the most insulated vehicles, so you get a lot of road noise. Now, road noise definitely wears on you, especially if you're trying to have a conversation with somebody in the Gladiator. So that was one of my first things, is had to reduce the fatigue, because I find in the Midwest, I am driving a lot longer than I did in California. That was the first thing. Second thing was snow performance. I deal with icy conditions more in shallow but icy snow here than I did in in California. Yes, we had snow, but California snow is totally different. Especially living in the Sierras at 6,000 feet plus, you have a totally different type of snow than you do here in South Dakota. My third criteria really was about wear. I wanted a tire that would wear well and perform well, right? So wear and performance, I look at that as one package for me. I wanted something that would wear well. I did pretty well with my Toyos. I've done really well with my BFGs, like my wife's BFGs, probably have about 50,000 miles on them, and they still look like new, as you'll see here in the video. So that's also part of it, is the wear. And then the last part is, how are they going to do off-road, right? Is it going to be a good off-road tire? Is it going to perform well? And you got to have some of that sexiness factor too, right? I don't mind a tire I want a tire that performs well, but I want it to look sexy on the vehicle as well. I don't want it just to be, oh yeah, here's your tire, there's nothing on the side. So like some of these side grooves look what matter to me. Other things that matter really well was I've learned through just having a good ply wall side is really important. I've put a couple sticks through ply walls in my time, or sidewalls in my time, and don't like experiencing that. I lost a couple BFGs way back when that way, and don't want to do that again. So that's my criteria in looking for this. What I would say before you go do any tires, go develop your criteria and go do your research, and you'll quickly realize a lot of things. And then the good thing is there's a lot of information about tires out there right now. Finally, that took me down my path to make my decision. So decision number one was, I'm going to try to find an all-terrain tire that looks awesome and that performs awesome. So I started looking at all-terrain tires, and there was a plethora of information out there. The reason why I chose all-terrain was, like I said, the fatigue was my number one on the list. Riding with those Toyos at the end was wearing me down, honestly wearing me down. The second thing was the performance. I wanted something that performed really well, and my choice came down to really two based on performance. I like the Wild Peaks a lot. The AT3s, which I bought for my son's Bronco, by the way. Before I bought a set of tires, he was traveling from Minot in school to South Dakota here, dealing with a lot of snow, and those things rock in the snow. Great tire in his little Bronco. They performed really well. They look awesome. They look great on his truck. What mattered to me, that was like one of the choice tires early on. So I was thinking, all right, I like the Wild Peaks. Let's think about an all-terrain Wild Peak. I just couldn't go with a mud terrain with the fatigue it would add. So all-terrains are the first choice. Next choice was, okay, I want something with good tread warranty, good solid tire, something I knew would perform in the snow. So one of the tires I looked at again was the Wild Peaks, and that was at the top of the list for a long time when I was narrowing down my decision. Then I started looking around. Second choice was the KO2s, which my wife runs on her 4Runner. As you can see here in the picture down below, we chose them for a 4Runner, and she's had them on for a number of miles, worn well, look good. Good overall performance. They're coming out with the KO3s now. Not enough experience with those yet, so I was really considering the KO2. And then finally was a newcomer for me, which I've never used before, was I like the Micky Thompsons. The Micky Thompson's Baja Boss ATs. Read a lot of good things about them. They looked really aggressive. They looked like a combo between a AT and a mud tire. A little more aggressive for off-road, but was a good choice for that. All had roughly the same warranty on them. So I narrowed it down to 3 tires. Started kicking around. 2 of the tires I owned, one of them I did not. Guess what my choice was? Put your guesses in the comments, see if you guessed right. So I ended up choosing the Micky Thompsons. It was a really tough choice. I almost went back to Wild Peaks. I really struggled between the two. What sold me on the Micky Thompsons was the tread design. As you can see here, it's an aggressive all-terrain tires, and they performed awesome in Moab. I had some friends with some other tires that actually had chunks taken out of the tire, and because of the rocks. These things handled everything. The one drawback, as you can see up there in the corner, is they collect rocks like no tomorrow in the treads. I often hear rocks fly out of my Jeep, just pinging away at different things, which scares me. But if you look at them, they pass the sexiness factor for me in spades. They have a design tread that lowers all the noise reduction. They are quieter than my wife's all-terrain tires on her KO2s. Really quiet so far. Now they're new, so I'll do another like 30,000 mile test and I'll tell you how they sound. But right now, no, I can tell you after driving 9-hour drives, very little driving fatigue. Three wall sides, really thick tire itself, aggressive, handle really well. Right now I did lower the pressure a little bit. I had them at 40, and so I have them right now about 37, and they ride like a dream. Towing or not, really stiff tires, so they flexible well. They do make them in E-rated tires. I didn't get them in that rate. I don't tow that much with this, but really solid tire. I'm happy I went with them so far with the Micky Thompson tires. I bought them. Now, one of the things that made me go back to think about the Wild Peaks is I do not have a local distributor. Micky Thompson's distributor market isn't as big. They don't have a distributor except for Rapid City, which is like 4 hours away. My tire guy, I have a great tire guy here, my mechanic locally. He said, go on Amazon and order them. I'll take care of them if you have any warranties or anything, as long as you buy it from a reputable company. And I found a distributor that is a Micky Thompson dealer through Amazon. Their link is in the description below. Their pricing on their tires was really good. So I bought them. They were delivered, had some delivery issues because they delivered 3 and 1 came a little bit late. Wasn't their fault. They communicated well. Tire was delivered, and I'm very happy with the setup. And very happy with the go. So there you go. I went with Micky Thompson, Baja Boss AT tires. Awesome choice. No regrets so far. All right, so that concludes the video and why I chose the Micky Thompson tires and kind of how I had my decision process. Mind you, this is only for me. Everybody has different decisions. There's no right or wrong. I just tried to share my ideas of doing that. Now I want you to go out there and be comfortable with the uncomfortable. Enjoy the journey, live, learn, and explore. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe.